Welcome to VHS Bros. Today we'll be taking a look at the 1984 Christmas slasher film Silent Night, Deadly Night. In my opinion, it's one of the best Christmas horror films ever made. Now you might be saying to yourself, there's not much competition for Christmas horror films. But you'd be wrong. You've got such classics as Silent Night, Deadly Night, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Krampus, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Jack Frost, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, Better Watch Out, Silent Night, Christmas, Bloody Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake, Terrifier 3, and the list goes on. Silent Night, Deadly Night stands out in my mind because it has a little more depth than other cheap slasher flicks. It explores trauma and cycles of violence. It raises the question of who's really to blame in the face of tragedy. Anyway, let's cut to the chase, shall we? We start out in Utah of all places, with a cute little family driving around on Christmas Eve through absolutely no snow. It's here we meet our main character Billy at the age of 5, as well as his parents and his baby brother Ricky. I wouldn't get too attached if I were you. They eventually arrive at their destination, the nursing home with Grandpa, who I guess hasn't been talking lately. After a minute of talking with each other, Mom and Dad decide to step away with baby Ricky and leave Billy totally alone with the catatonic Grandpa. Then, inexplicably, Grandpa comes out of his catatonic state to traumatize his grandson by telling Billy that Santa is coming to punish him tonight.
You scared, ain't you? You should be.
Billy is understandably horrified, but doesn't breathe a word of it to Mom and Dad when they come back. I think this opening bit sets the mood for the movie perfectly. It's definitely cheesy and over the top while simultaneously creepy. And that's exactly what this movie is. A low-budget slasher that blends a mix of over-the-top cheese with legitimately gripping horror moments. Anyway, unfortunately for Billy, this is not the most traumatic thing he experiences that day. Because right after this, they run into a guy dressed as Santa pulled over on the side of the road. He at first seems harmless and like he just needs a hand. But then he, shoots his dad and assaults his mom. Apparently when this movie first came out, it attracted literal hordes of protesters picketing the theaters because they felt that Silent Night, Deadly Night's depiction of a beloved cultural icon of an uplifting holiday was absolutely inappropriate and not okay. I have no idea what they're talking about. But if you thought this was effed up, just wait, there's plenty more. So after Billy and Ricky watch their parents get brutally murdered, we cut to a few years later when little Billy is grown up to the ripe old age of 8. He and Ricky are living in an orphanage run by sadistic nuns. The head nun, Mother Superior, is big on punishing naughty children, and even innocent children who make honest mistakes. By that I mean Billy accidentally runs into a couple of teens doing the thing that teens do in these kind of movies, and Mother Superior tells him he needs to be punished for it. Listen, lady. Just because you're stuck living a life of celibacy don't mean you can take out your sorrow on them kids. So because of this, and the way his mom died, Billy now associates anything romantic or sexual with violent punishment. Oof. Speaking of violence, right after this, Mother Superior forces Billy to sit on Santa's lap because he needs to get over his trauma or something. I don't know. It goes about as well as you'd expect. What'd you think was gonna happen, lady? So then Billy runs up to his room, begging and pleading not to be punished, but that doesn't go over so well. Hang on. I thought this was a slasher movie. Why are we following some abused kid at an orphanage? All in good time, my friends. All in good time. So then we have another jump to about 10 years later. By this point, Billy is 18 and the nuns hook him up with a job at a local toy store. At first, everything goes pretty well. He likes his job. He likes his boss just fine. He even starts to get a crush on one of his coworkers, Pam. But all that lasts for like 5 seconds. Because suddenly it's Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year. He handles things okay, I guess. But then on Christmas Eve, the worst possible thing happens. Billy's boss makes him dress as Santa Claus. And given the circumstances, I think Billy does a stellar job.
Stop it. Or I'll have to punish you.
He sure knows how to handle kids. He's great, isn't he?
After Billy undoubtedly traumatizes a few kids, his boss closes up shop and decides to have a Christmas Eve work party. You know, because he's a filthy sadist who hates his employees having personal lives. And for whatever reason, Billy keeps the Santa suit on. Now this is where things get spicy. Remember when I said all in good time? Now is that time.
By the time this party's over, you'll think you are Santa Claus.
Since it's Christmas Eve, Billy gets all depressed about his parents being dead. And what gets him even more depressed is that he sees Pam run into the back with another coworker. So he does what any normal guy would do, and he follows them, where he finds the guy assaulting the girl. Okay, what's up with all these shenanigans on Christmas Eve? This is like the third time this movie, but I digress. Because this moment becomes the turning point of the film. Billy has a rough history with this sort of thing. He suddenly snaps and takes it upon himself to punish the naughty, so he strangles the guy with Christmas lights, and also kills the girl with a box cutter? Hold up, wasn't she the victim in all this? It doesn't matter. Bye bye, Pam. Then he murders his boss and another woman working in the store. Okay, hold up. I thought you were punishing the naughty. What the crap happened, Billy? What'd these guys do? Give you a job? Oh well, I guess Santa's got pretty high standards. Now that they're dead, Billy runs out to punish the naughty across town. Sure enough, the first people he runs across are a couple of teenagers. Bet you can't guess what they're up to. Okay, so what the crap is going on in this town? Did they mix up Christmas with Valentine's Day? Is this movie secretly My Bloody Valentine? Am I doing the wrong review? So when he finds them, he first kills the girl in one of the most iconic moments of the film. Now, given that it features some graphic violence and graphic nudity, I can't really show it here, but rest assured, it's pretty iconic. Just imagine it. Then he kills the guy in a very Christmassy fashion by defenestrating him. Fun fact, defenestration is a word that means to throw someone out of a window. They have an entire word dedicated just to that for whatever reason. I think we need to make it a more regular part of our everyday conversation. So after the defenestration, we come to one of my favorite scenes in the movie. All of the noise from the defenestration woke up a little girl who sees Billy and mistakes him for Santa Claus. When she approaches him, you get a really tense exchange where he determines whether she's been naughty or nice.
Have you been good?
I'll just let you watch the movie to find out how this exchange ends. So then the carnage continues with some more stupid teenagers. These guys actually got the memo about being Christmas time, so they're going sledding. But before they go down, a couple of bullies steal their sleds for them. I can't think of a more heinous crime. And apparently neither can Billy. Okay, I know Billy's been traumatized and his perception of reality is probably warped or whatever, but homie needs to stop and think for a minute. Killing that coworker for assaulting Pam, sure. Killing the two teens a few minutes ago for, going at it is overkill. But I get it, because, Billy has childhood trauma. But does taking another kid's sled merit a decapitation? Oh, wait, I forgot. Santa's got really high standards. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Now Santa's headed for his childhood home, the orphanage. While all this is happening, the only nice nun, Sister Margaret, finds some of the bodies at the store and starts working with the local police to try to stop Billy. After a few hours, they figure out that Billy's headed straight for the orphanage. Back to where it all started. Hold up, wait. Isn't that the plot of Halloween Kills? Because Michael goes on a murdering streak straight for his childhood home. Is this movie secretly Halloween Kills and My Bloody Valentine? Oh, I'm so confused. By this time, it's Christmas morning, and all the cops are on alert for a killer dressed as Santa. Shouldn't run into any problems with that, right? Oh, wait, that wasn't Billy? Is a deaf guy? That's awkward. But it all works out, because Billy punishes that jerk face 5 minutes later. This one might be a little bit more merited. I'll grant you that one, Billy. Inside of the orphanage, Mother Superior is still around, but in a wheelchair, and just generally being mean to all the kids, including little Ricky, who's all grown up now. Well, sorta. So then Billy runs inside with an axe and goes to kill the old hag. This one's pretty naughty, and I can get behind her getting punished. What the crap, man? Why didn't you shoot the nun? She sucks! So, because he gets shot, Billy unceremoniously dies, but not before we get a little bit of sequel bait.
Naughty.
And yeah, that's where the movie ends. We cut the credits. That's Silent Night, Deadly Night for you. So, like I said earlier, I'm a fan of this movie. Matter of fact, I'd say I'm a big fan. It's a good time. Sure, it's definitely low budget and doesn't have great acting, and some of the dialogue is hokey. But for me, that adds to some of the charm. It makes it feel more fun and campy. The movie has a bunch of great kills. My favorite is probably the sled one. Pretty gnarly. The antler one is pretty cool as well. Even though this probably could have been better executed, I really like the exploration of what turned Billy into a murderer. All his life he'd been surrounded by physical violence, so of course he was going to grow up pretty effed up. That whole angle adds depth and interesting themes that 90% of slashers lacked. Even though it's blatant sequel bait, that final moment of the movie raises the question: how can you break the cycle of violence? Anyway, now it comes time to score this bad boy. I'm gonna grade it on 3 categories and give an overall score. First is quality. 6. Production values are clearly pretty cheap, like I said, but they did a pretty decent job given what they had. Second is the rewatchability. 8. The biggest problem is that this feels wrong to watch if it's not Christmas time. But when it comes Christmas time, I'm pretty inclined to turn this bad boy on. I like to watch it just about every December. Third category is overall enjoyment. Also 8. It's highly entertaining. Sure, it gets kinda slow when Billy's in the orphanage and working at the toy store, but most of the runtime is pretty fun to watch. If you're into campy 80s slashers, that is. Now for the overall score. 8. Yeah, I know that doesn't make sense math-wise. 6 and then 8 and then 8. But I honestly don't put a ton of stock into quality for movies like this. Like I said, it's a really fun Christmas horror movie. It's got the classic 80s appeal and does a really good job both as a slasher and as a Christmas movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out this Christmas. Well worth a watch. Which is more than I can say for most of the sequels. Speaking of which, we'll hopefully be tackling some of those on this channel soon. Well, that's it for now. And remember, kids, stay on the nice list or be punished.